It's a pleasure to be here. You know, it's funny. You guys, the ladies here, it's a double thing going on. One, you're working for good people here. Would you say? I mean, we're talking about the history and family. We were talking about Grandpa, remember names of grandchildren and children and the special guy. But how about this? Ford just doubled your dividend. Do you have stock in Ford? You better have stock in Ford. I would tell you what you guys do in the town through your company, how you've been involved in this community in all aspects of it. To be involved, to be active, to be charitable, it's incredible. And what happens is, as you give like you guys give, and the Millers give through this company and personally, it just kind of spreads and things just get better and better and better. And that's what I see happening. I think the company, again, here, you've done so well now, it's like, where do you go? What I would tell you is I hope you don't lose everyone to the draft. I hope you don't do it. And then have to come back and battle and fight like we are right now. Now, I will say this, because what you guys do every day, because you hear a lot of no's, right? And you got to keep moving. And you get some people that are angry and want something for nothing, and you got to smile, am I right? You got to just keep moving, and you got to move forward. Well, I'm looking at my team right now. When I wake up every morning, I see a team that could be an unbelievable defensive team, as long as anybody in the country that can fly up and down that court, if they trusted themselves, each other more reckless. I see a team that has terrific skills, and offensively, because of our size and ability to do things, could be as good as anybody in the country. I know we're not there yet, but that's my vision every morning. When I go to practice, that's where I'm trying to get into. And when we get there, cannot wait to see their faces in the locker room after a couple games. A few years ago, we lost. You remember the games we lost in the league? Just kept losing in the league and on the road. We couldn't win a road game. Then we went, and by the end of the year, we were one of the best teams in the country. We went to a Final Four. I don't know if that's in store, but that's in my mind. And that's what my vision is. And that's what I'm trying to get across to them. But between that and where you sit, a lot of work. We got to change some things because we want to step up. We got to do things a little different, and we got to accept that. And good, let's do it. Let's figure out how we do this better. So I think what you guys are doing, that championship season, and you're following it up, and you want another championship. The good news is you didn't lose all your players. They're here. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. I'll answer a few questions and go back. I got a little more tape to you. Watch Tennessee, man. Here they come, a bunch of bullies and strong, physical. Got all these 18-year-olds I'm coaching. Yes, now this is crazy, but I've done more zone work in the last 2 weeks than I've had in 20 years of coaching. We played more zone last game than we have since I've been coaching. We only played it in the first half. I'm hoping we get to play about 30% zone. And the reason is, I just want to win. I don't care what we play or how he won't play. I just want to win. So, here's why, just so you understand. We've always played man-to-man. How have we done? Pretty good. So why do you go zone? Just you don't change. It's going, but we're going to kind of roll this and kind of make it a little bit better. Play better man-to-man. Well, here's the difference. I've always had a stopper. All my teams. Michael Gilchrist. Wait a minute. DeAndre Liggins. Even I could put a John Wall on a guy. Back in my Memphis days. Antonio Anderson. I always had that guy. Guess what? They said, well, what else? We played 3 different guys on the kid that got 40. I put a 7-footer on him and he scored 1. A step back 3. Then you start saying, stopper here. If someone gets going, we better play zone. So we've worked on it. So we're ready to play it. Now I don't know if we're going to be any good at it, but we're going to play. Anything else? The best guard I've ever coached. The best guard I've ever coached was Derrick Rose. He's really good. You know, I've had terrific guards here. Really have. But Derrick Rose was just, let me tell you how he was. You know, fear is a great motivator. Fear, feeding family, keeping this house over our head, keeping the car. Fear is a great motivator. Woo, in the morning, I'm up. What's going on? I got to do today. Well, it's also in sport. Because if a young man doesn't think he's good enough or fearful he's not, he goes. Derrick Rose would be in the gym, I'm not lying, 5 hours in the summer, 5. Until I go in and say, you gotta stop. Go. He never thought he was good enough. The best players I've ever coached, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, did not think they were good enough. And even now, will think, I'm not good enough. I've got to get better. The guys that think they've made it, they're done. That fear is not bad. Like, I got to do better. I got to get up earlier. I got to do more. But he was the best. And I've had a bunch of big guys over here, too. That started with Marcus Camby, who's getting his number retired up at UMass. And, you know, then we had this kid. What was that kid last year? That Anthony Davis kid. He wasn't bad either. Any other questions? Ladies, you got anything for me? Yes?
Is your vision to stay with Kentucky?
Is my vision with Kentucky? Yeah. But here's the point, guys. And ladies, listen to me. This isn't a job that I'm in that you stay 20 years. Can you see how much I've aged in 3 years? I mean, seriously, when you look at me, you say, he used to be like handsome. Look at this dude. Gray, his eyes are banging. He never had wrinkles. Look at him. After 10 years, you will say, we really like you here, but you're going to die. You need to go and let someone else take it. I love what I'm doing, but you're on the treadmill going about 15 miles an hour every day. It does not stop until I go home. And I lay my head on the pillow and I start snoring right there. Like there's no like, what's on TV? But you know what? I'm loving it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Let me say this. The greatest opportunity, and JP and I, we talked about this. How about the ability to affect other lives? I'm coaching Kentucky. Every kid on my team has a chance to be a pro because they're on my team. Not me, but they're on Kentucky. The exposure. We've had 15 players go to the NBA draft in 3 years. 15. Do you understand how those families' lives have changed? We've had 7 players get their college degree. All of them the first college graduate in their family. Cycles have changed. Now, how about a cycle of poverty within a family? How about when I'm done coaching, if I can say 70 families, just the cycle of poverty, let's not even talking about the 50, 70, 80 kids that got college degrees. We're talking about 70s that became millionaires through the NBA, through their opportunity. Their families now, that cycle of poverty has changed. You think about the opportunity. And you know what's crazy? My grandparents came through Ellis Island. Did not speak English. Worked in the coal mines, Clarksburg, West Virginia. That's where they worked. Because when you came over as Italian, you either worked with stone or you were in the coal mines. My parents were high school educated. My dad was a laborer. My mother worked in the high school cafeteria where the white stuff sold the ice cream. My sisters and I are the first college graduates in our family. I never thought about being a lawyer or a doctor. Lawyer, doctor. No one in our family was a lawyer. We were all laborers. That's what we were. I looked up to teachers. They were the only professionals I ever saw. So I wanted to be a teacher and a coach. And then I went in college and I said, man, I'd like to do this, man. And then I got there and I went to the NBA and they fired me. And then I had to come back to college. But my point is this. My daughter is going to be a doctor in a year and a half. My daughter. And the opportunity that the company gives you and then that you give to your children, then your goal for your children, I want them college educated. I want them to have the best opportunity they can get out of this life. And I'm going to try to make it for them. To make it better than we had, correct? I just want their life to be better than us. And so, my child being a doctor, that's what I want for my players. I'm not coaching many lawyers and doctors. A lot of the kids I'm coaching are the first college educated in their family. They came from poor backgrounds. A lot of them were raised by their mothers. They were like me, a lawyer, a doctor, just hoping I have a job. Now all of a sudden their children have that opportunity. That's what Kentucky has done for me. So I'm going to ride this wave as long as I can stand. I have no ambitions to go anywhere else. Where would I want to go? Kentucky. I'm at the greatest job in the world. Even like people like now, when the team's losing, the fans are going nuts. No, they're not. You like where we were 5 years ago, or you like where we are now? I mean, think about it. Our fans have been great. Our fans cheered. You ready for this? The kid that got 40 on us. They gave him an ovation. We got the greatest fans in the world. Now, the people that bet on the game, they're not happy. I'm not worried about them. Dude bets on the game, he's mad. Why don't you leave him in? You'd have covered if we didn't get that. I don't care. I'm not betting on games. I don't care about you. Or the other guy that's mad at me buys tickets so he can sell them. And if I don't have enough good home games, he don't make enough money. Do you think I'm worried about that guy too? I'm worried about that guy. I'm worried about doing right by my team. But anyway, any other questions and I'll get out of your hair.
Well, we're here tonight with our team to launch our 2013 vision. And we've come a long way from the recession and moving forward to now Ford is America's best-selling brand.
Isn't it amazing?
It's awesome.
Give yourselves a hand.
Keep it in mind as when you go and plan with your coaches and your staff, and you're in the locker room and you might be down by 20 or you might be down by 2. Is there something you can tell them they can walk away tonight and really understand?
There's two things I'm going to tell you if you want to do this. You truly, life becomes easier when it's about everybody else and not yourself. I'm now in my 50, very little over 50. But when you're 25 and 26, you're not worried about anything else. It's your own thing. And when you're 19, it's even worse. But if you all work for each other, that you're not only doing what you're supposed to do, but you're helping each other, this thing takes off like a rocket. It really does. And you end up finding out, as I'm working and I'm helping, and I'm working for everybody else, and not only doing what I'm supposed to do, but I'm helping, you go home fulfilled every day. And then, then you love coming in the morning because you want to see who you can help the next day. I mean, that may sound Pollyanna, but I'm just telling you, my life became easier when I made it about my secretary, my assistants getting jobs, all my players, the community I'm in, my family, my kids, my wife. My life's about that, not what can I do for myself. I've been blessed so many times over, not worried about it. That's one. The second thing is, everybody wants to know about a comeback story. You guys should write your own. You know what you went through? Let me ask you, were you the only company that went through it? Some other companies took the money. Did Ford take the money? No. Ford didn't take the money. Think about that. So, now, I say this. The industry, really our economy, had it rough. But there were others that were worse off than you guys, but everybody had it rough. Then it comes back to what's the story. I already told you the story I have with my team. That vision that I have of where I'm trying to take this and what I want them to